Guys, welcome back to the blog. We're doing a video post update instead of a long drawn out text update because I know most of you guys don't read the entire thing, and you've made it clear to me that a giant 5 page long blog update is not something that most people want to do, and they just kind of skip to the end of the forecast and just read um, whatever I say at the end. So I'm going to do a video update. Hopefully, it's more entertaining. You can kind of get an understanding of what I do to that makes up an entire forecast. So let's go with today's January 8th, 2024 weather update. The first one I'm going to do in video form, cold weather and active pattern to continue. Today's weather, we had a high of 36 degrees and a low of 15 degrees. Precipitation, obviously there was none, and it was a pretty calm one out there, not really too windy at all, with a max wind gust of 6 miles an hour. The webcam in the background is just a shot of Reno, obviously, and I just took this at the time I was making it. So I'll do this. I'll do this little today's weather thing um, whenever I do a video update because it's a little fun. Okay, let's just kind of go back in time real quick and look at the storm that went through a couple days ago. Reno area had a range of about 1 to 4 inches, which was about what was forecasted. The Lake Tahoe area and the mountains, the ski resorts, they all got in excess of a half foot, with Palisades, Tahoe peaking at 13 inches, as well as North Star, which is good for this time of, actually not for this time of year. It is good for this year in general, but for this time of year, we're expecting some more significant storms, which unfortunately haven't come to fruition. So kind of a disappointing winter. Actually, it definitely is a disappointing winter, as we have not even come close to matching last year. So, yeah, it was a decent storm for this year, but in the grand scheme of things, we needed a lot more of the this caliber of storms to reach average for this winter. I'm just going to take a look at the wind gust. Each number is just the max wind gust as of 11 a.m., I believe. The morning before that storm came in, it was pretty windy. We had gusts on Peavine in excess of hurricane force winds, clocking in at 77 miles an hour. Mount Rose, 75. Some mountains out here, I believe this is Alpine and Palisades. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but in excess, nearly 100 miles an hour, and we had a reading of 105 miles per hour, which was the peak wind gust for the day in our area. And the Reno Sparks area, mostly 30s, 40s, and even some 50s and 60s up near Peavine and North Valleys. Washoe Valley peaked at 60 miles per hour, which they're pretty windy all the time, so that's not really a surprise. But overall, a very windy day, and kind of wanted to highlight this. My personal weather station at my house in Northwest Reno got the highest wind gust it's ever had, actually, of 47 miles per hour. So yeah, overall, pretty windy day. And yeah, oh, there we go. Let's not spoil the forecast. So, the forecast for the upcoming couple days is going to be a storm. We have a storm rolling in tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow morning, a wind advisory will be in effect for tomorrow morning into Wednesday. Most locations will see a 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gust, as we saw with the storm that came in a couple days ago. This graphic's kind of blurry, but you can see right here the max wind gust for Reno will be nearly 50 miles per hour. So again, another windy day, similar to the one that came in a couple days ago. Just kind of be prepared for that. If you're traveling, going from Reno to Carson City, Washoe Valley will be super, super windy. Let's take a look at what the models are saying. This is a trend. So this right here is a setup of a high resolution model. So it is able to show the wind gusts um, and go hour by hour instead of most models which go by 6 hours. So it's a lot more accurate. So looking at this run, the winds peak out about 46 miles per hour for Reno. This is where I'm looking right here, this little 46 right there. And that's Reno. That's kind of the airport. And this run was 3 hours ago. This one was 2 hours ago and 1 hour ago. The most recent run, we're kind of uptrending the wind gust potential. So I believe that there's going to be 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts with the potential to be even higher. We'll see. This model peaks out at, or this run, the most recent run, peaks out at 52 miles per hour for the Reno area. Everywhere else in that 40 to 50 mile per hour range. So once again, it should be a windy day, and the models are trending uh, stronger as we get closer. So right now, this is the bottom. This is the oldest run, next oldest, and then now the newest. As you can see, there's a clear uptrend in wind gusts. Now we're going to take a look at the precipitation that's expected for this storm. It's not very much. However, it's so cold that any precipitation that does fall as snow is going to be, it'll be a lot of snow because the colder it is, the more snow you get because it's more dry snow and it's fluffier, and therefore it packs up higher. It's not wet snow like Sierra cement that normally falls with warmer storms. Like the warmer storms have wetter snow, which means it compacts easier, which means we don't get as big of a what's it called, like snow measurement. However, in these drier storms, it kind of inflates with the higher snow ratios. So let's take a look at this first model. This is the Euro. I would say this has been the most accurate so far this winter, but it's giving us a half inch of rain or half inch of precipitation. So not necessarily rain or snow, it's just precipitation in general. I think this is a bit much, as you see with these other models. Um, let's see here. They don't have nearly as much, maybe the GFS, which is the American model. So you have your European versus American duo right here. The American model has zero point 0.4 inches of precipitation. However, these models aren't very high resolution, so it's easy for it to give higher precipitation totals. All the models kind of keep it within that zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.5 range. The Sierras, um, other than the Icon model, which is a German model, gives about, let's see what's on the scale, about an inch along the crest, which is okay for precipitation. The highest is, I believe, let's see here. Yeah, I don't even know which, this model isn't very accurate, so I'm not going to pay attention to it. But the ones you really have to worry about or like care about is the Euro, the American, Icon. Those are the big three to pay attention to. With the Euro kind of having the most solid precipitation chances for Western Nevada. It gives the Sierra Crest and Tahoe Basin a good amount for this time of year, for this year at least, not this time of year, but for this year at least, which is about 1 to 1.5 inches of precipitation. And we'll kind of take a look into how much that is in snow. So I just selected the Euro model because it shows a trend. It's not necessarily, you don't want to like look at these totals and say, oh, it's gonna snow. Let's see here. It's gonna snow 5 inches in Reno. That's not necessarily true. Like I said before, these models are pretty low resolution, so it's not going to be very accurate for snow totals in valleys. It will be more accurate for the Sierras right here, but not necessarily for valleys like Reno, Carson City, Sparks. So just kind of pay attention to the trend. So as we go, this is once again, bottom to top. This is the oldest, next oldest, and newest run. So we're kind of looking for a trend here. Snow starts in the Sierras Wednesday morning, and really ramps up here by Wednesday afternoon and evening. And then by the evening into the night, the storm passes through. So it's a pretty quick storm. But as you can see here, this model projects 1 inch and about a half foot of snow. This was yesterday's run. As you go to this morning's run, actually no, sorry, this was yesterday's overnight run. This is this morning's run, and this is the most recent run. So as you can see, the trend is to clearly give us more snow. So it's good that the models are uptrending for both snow in the mountains, which they needed the most, and for down here in Reno. So good to see that uptrend. As you can see, the newest model run gives us 5 inches, which again is not going to happen. We're not going to get 5 inches of snow at the airport. In the foothills, it could happen, but not at the airport. Next, I want to take a look at this is the American model. So we're gonna go do the same thing, like I said before. Bottom is the oldest, top is the newest. We're gonna go through time in the oldest model, and it doesn't even give an inch of snow for Reno for this oldest model. And as you go through time, this is the next most recent run, right here, right here. As you can see, there's a clear trend to give more snow in western Nevada, which is good. We want to see that. As well as, I mean, there is also a bit of an uptrend for the mountains as well. So both major models are uptrending in snow amounts. That's good to see, especially as you're getting close to a storm. Um, that's a solid signal. This is a graphic that was put up by the National Weather Service. This is their official forecast for snow. As you can see here in Reno, they're projecting 1 to 2 inches, and along the Sierra is a good 1 to 2 feet of snow, which similar to the last storm we got. The ceiling is a bit higher, I would say, for this storm than the last storm we got, but amounts in Reno should stay about the same. We're under a winter storm watch, which means we're not in a winter storm warning just yet. They're just waiting to pull the trigger. If I would say that they will tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, as they see that the models have uptrended and we're more likely to get, the 2 inches instead of 1 inch of snow. So that will warrant a winter storm warning, I would think, for our area. So kind of just take a look at that. All those skiers, it's good to see another 2 feet of snow after this previous storm. So, all right, now we kind of got that out of the way. We're going to look into the future and we're going to see what's happening in the next week or so. So, this is a chart of high and low pressure. High pressure usually means we're going to have clear, sunny days, and low pressure usually means we're going to have our stormy days. So as you can see here, let's go back to where we are right now, which is right here. And we're having, so right here, let's know our geography. This is Reno. Just pay attention right here, Western Nevada. That's the Reno-Tahoe area. We have this big storm to our east. You've probably heard about it in the news. Um, Tornadoes, snow, everything. That's an example of a good deep trough or a deep low pressure system. There's one off the coast of British Columbia, and it's expected to drop down and bring some snow and precipitation to the northwest. However, it's too far north for us to get anything, so we have to wait for this low right here, as you can see, to drop down and give us some snow. That is the reason why we're going to get a storm, is because this low pressure, as you can see right here, originating in the Bay of Alaska, like Gulf of Alaska, is going to drop down, bring its coldness and moisture, and swing through our region, bring us some snow. That's another reason why these storms are so cold, or is because they're originating from such a cold air mass up here in Canada. Canadian air is super cold, especially in the winter. So when they drop south, they're going to bring that air with us, or with it, and bring us some snow. So after that storm moves out, we have this ridge, this high pressure that's going to block us from getting any storms. This Kona low is going to sit over here, and it's kind of going to push this ridge to the east. And as you go out, this is 5 days out, we have another storm that goes to the northwest, kind of a smaller storm, as you can see right here. It originates to the west in the Pacific Ocean, swings down, and we have that ridge that moves north, and again, blocking us from storms, still stays there. It's very, very hard to move, and it's just not really a good outlook. This is 10 days out. We still have this ridge. So this is not what you want to see if you want more storms. We have this storm right here. As you can see, this little lobe of pressure, this little ball right here. This would be our next chance for a storm, which would be Sunday, maybe Saturday, the Saturday, Sunday time frame. But that's just too far north for us. Um, However, in the European model, it shows it coming a bit further south, which could give us a chance for a storm. So as you can see the difference here between, let's see here, let's go to the exact time. So this is the difference. At the same time, about 5 days out, this is what the American model is showing, which this storm is a bit too far north for us, and the European model is showing a storm that is closer. It could give us some precipitation, not for sure, but we would want to see the American model hop on board with the Euro if we want to see or kind of lock in a pattern or our chances for some more precipitation. And anything further out is just kind of it's up in the air. Their models aren't very accurate past 7 days, so I'm not even going to bother showing it. This chart may look confusing at first, but this is a ensemble chart, which means see these run this uh, model run. It's run 50 times with slightly different variations, and it gives a range of outcomes. And the goal is to give an average that is reflective of all the trends that are happening. So it's not going to give, say if this gives an extreme output of say 5 feet of snow for the Sierras, and then this one gives out an output of 0 feet of snow. This model runs all the variations and gives an average. So you can see the trends. This specific ensemble run was yesterday, so last night, um, and it was showing a decent signal for some strong storms about a week in advance, about the 15th to 19th time frame. However, as we got into the future and models got closer, that signal kind of died out. So there's still a good chance, or at least a 50, I would say a 60% chance for a storm from the 13th to the 15th of January. Um, the signal for strong storms in the super, like what we like to call it Fantasyland range, or long range, has kind of disappeared. There's only one member that's showing a strong storm, as opposed to a good, one, two, three, four, five, six members, even some other, I guess you could say a good 20% of members were showing some strong storms, but that signal has since decreased. So I would say the outlook for the next week past this 13th to 15th time range is looking kind of bleak. I'll keep you guys updated, but this is the GFS. So this one right here is the Europeans ensemble. So, and the GFS, of course, has its own because we love to compete with the Europeans. And as you can see, let's see here. The trend, this only goes out to 10 days. That's the difference right here. This one goes out to 10 days. This one goes out to 15, I believe. Yeah, 15. And this one only has 30 members. This one has 50. So, but it's all the same thing. It's the same type of model. But as you go into time, this recent model one was actually pretty good. So again, another discrepancy. We have the European model downtrending in storms in the long range, and we have the American model uptrending. So we'll have to get that resolved in the near future. Let's take a look at where our winter storm watches are. We have some for the Reno, Carson City area. Our winter storm warnings are for the Sierra Crest and Tahoe. So just be prepared. And we're going to take a look now at my forecast that I kind of spoiled in the beginning. So I have the Sierras getting 2 to 4 inches tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's a long range. However, this will probably fall in the morning period of this forecast. There could be some leftover showers that give some snow during the evening and afternoon. So that's why I made it such a big range of times. Tahoe Basin won't get much. It could get nothing. Could get an inch of snow. And again, the chances fall in that 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. time range. We're not going to get anything on Tuesday, I don't believe. It's just such a weak storm. However, Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, we should get some snow. And I'm predicting 1 to 3 inches from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the valley floor. The foothills, which is like your Arrow Creek, your Somerset, those areas, Verdi, those are what I designate as the foothills. So 3 to 5 inches is expected from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tahoe Basin will have an earlier start time and a later, or as well as an earlier departure time for snow totals. Should get about 8 to 14 inches, so a little bit more than a half a foot to a little bit more than a full foot of snow. And the Sierras should get about 1 to 2 feet of snow. I picked about 14 to 20 inches for the ski resorts. The snow should start in the morning, early morning, and end during the evening. And then Thursday, Friday, we're dry. So yeah, that is the current forecast for the next couple days. I'll post another update once we get our winter storm warnings or if we get downgraded to a winter weather advisory. But thank you guys for watching my first blog video update. Good night.